Hey guys, today's tutorial is on how to contour and highlight your nose. So this is how it looks before. With only foundation, you can see the dark shadows casted under my eyes and also down the sides of my nose, making it appear larger. And here's the after with very subtle highlighting and contouring. Makes a huge difference. Let me know what you guys like to do in the comments, and please leave a thumbs up if you find this video helpful. So the first thing I always do is use a primer, and not just any primer, it has to be one that really smooths out the skin. This is Benefit Porefessional. It has an amazing texture to it that acts almost like a new layer of skin. You just rub it on and it instantly fills in your pores. Very important step if you want your makeup to be lasting longer on your nose throughout the day without fading or streaking. Switching over to foundation now, I like to use Makeup Forever Ultra HD in R330. It's a very light consistency, which I like for the nose. It never looks too heavy or cakey. I apply it with my finger first and then gently press it in with the e.l.f. highlighting sponge till it's sitting nice and evenly on the skin. This foundation has a medium coverage, definitely buildable. For my face, I use 2 layers, but for my nose, I only use 1 since I know I'll be going in with other products on top of it. Next step is to conceal. This is IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye in the shade Neutral Medium. It has the most fullest coverage. This is what I use to make the shadows and dark under eye circles completely disappear. I first warm it up on the back of my hand so it's creamier and easier to work with, and then I use my fingertips to apply it straight down the sides of the nose, going from the inner corner of the eye down to the nostrils. Then with whatever is left on my finger, I work it upwards over the shadow there on the bridge of my nose. We'll be making new shadows with the next step, so you want these to go away. I also run the concealer down the top of my nose, and this is where I used to make the biggest mistake. I would draw the line way too wide, and it made my nose look much larger than it really was. Keep this line thin. If you have any indents like I do on that one side, just make sure to cover it so that it lifts it up as if it's on the same plane as the rest of your nose. Since we worked so hard on this concealing, you want to make it stay put and not move around. So to do this, I dip my highlighting sponge into the Too Faced Peach Perfect mattifying powder, tap off any excess, blot it off onto my wrist to make sure I'm not applying too much. Go in under the eyes, inner corners, around the sides of the nose, and the top of the nose. This next step is all personal preference. I like to use a warm medium brown shade. Some people like to use more taupe shades. Totally up to you. This is the LA Girl Pro HD Concealer in Almond. I think it has a great brush tip that lays down the product in a precise spot right where I want it, so it's extremely easy to use. I start a bit lower than the tip of my brow because I don't like to connect there. It closes my eyes off too much and they're already super small. So starting there, I draw straight down, closing in on that concealer, making that line appear even more narrow, and I'm drawing this slightly more inwards than where my nose actually dips down, like literally right before that dip. So I'm creating a new shadowed line that's much closer in, and it gives the illusion of a smaller bridge. I also connect those 2 lines in a small horizontal line on the tip of the nose, a bit under the concealer, basically from one tip of the nostril to the other, and I pat everything in gently with the blending sponge. Using the Julep Skip the Brush Stick in Sheer Glow here to highlight down the bridge of my nose. Again, draw the line as thin as you possibly can, because the thinner it is, the more narrow your nose is going to look. I don't put this on the tip of my nose because I try to avoid that area. It makes it look rounder. So instead, I just draw the line near the middle of the bridge of the nose and blend it in with my finger. And this really works as a nice focus point, I think, since it's the brightest part of the nose. It detracts the eye from the tip, which is where I don't want the focus to be. And the very last step is to define the nose more using a slightly darker shade. I love using this one from the e.l.f. Contouring Blush and Bronzing Cream. It's in St. Lucia. So I want to lift the tip of my nose more. To do this, I use a tiny brush to pick up a small amount of product and work it right under the concealer. Again, from the tip of one nostril to the other, but instead of drawing a straight line, I draw an upside down triangle. Then I lightly draw in, focusing near the middle of the bridge, 1 line on either side of the nose on top of the LA Girl shade to darken it up a bit. And again, blend it in with your blending sponge. And that's it for the finished look. Back to the before again, you can see how much larger my nose appears, all those shadows cast under the eyes along the sides of the nose. just doesn't look as good as it could. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Let me know in the comments if you have any awesome techniques or tips that you'd like to share on nose contouring. Please thumbs up if you found this tutorial helpful. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys in my next one.